morning, everybody, and thank you very much for being here this morning. I'm Willie McDonald. I'm the Alameda County Fire Chief, and it's an honor and a privilege to be here this morning with all of you. And just wanted to say that we really appreciate and really love being a neighbor in this community. And so we're happy to be here this morning to give some information about this site. And I'd like to introduce the Vice President of the Board of Supervisors and the District 4 Supervisor, Nate Miley.
Okay, thank you, Chief. I'll take off my mask. I think I'm good distance-wise. Yeah, it's great seeing some of you who I haven't seen in, well, some of you I haven't seen in a long time, but others I haven't seen in a long time either because of COVID. And it's just really nice to be out and about on a gorgeous day today and to be up here in Palomares. And I spent a lot of time up here in Palomares in the past, a lot of time. So,
we know.
I mean, we could tell some stories, yes, can't we? But to have this property purchased by the county and finally to, resolve it and deal with it, the commercial site, I inherited this situation when I became the supervisor in 2001. And yeah, we had a lot of struggles trying to figure out what we're going to do with this site. And some of you know the journey that we've been on and that we were on to try to resolve the issue of this lot. And so, long story short, finally, when Dave Rocher was the chief, we were able to come up with a plan because we knew we needed to do another fire station. That's 25 over there, right? Seven. Okay. We needed to do another station, and we needed to do additional stations throughout the county. So Chief Rocha, the county administrator, they supported me in convincing the Board of Supervisors that we should purchase this property. Trust me, that was it was a tall order. It was a tall order, but I was not shy nor faint about it because I knew the experience we had lived with trying to deal with this particular site. And some of you know, Chris Copatella, Chris lives up here. He used to work for me as well. Chris is the city attorney for Union City and Newark, right? Yeah. But, we've walked this community. My staff, Bob Swanson's back there, Daryl Stewart's back there. We've walked this community, my former staff, and Ashley, who's one of my current staff, she's worked here today to try to look at the issues and deal with a lot of things that came to our attention over the years in Palomares. So it's just really good to be up here to celebrate this success. And now with Measure X passing, and that was just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. It failed the first time. Then Supervisor Haggerty said, let's put it back on the ballot with the support of the firefighters, Local 55. So we put it back on the ballot, and lo and behold, it passed. We were able to get it across the finish line. So now the county has it's about $100 million, is it?
90 million.
Yeah, roughly $90+ million to build this station, and I am just so happy working with the chief and General Services Administration that this is going to be our first. We have about 6 or 7 other stations that either we want to build or retrofit throughout the county. About 5 of them I think are in my district, but we're going to build a whole new station right here in Palomares. So I'm just so pleased and giddy about that. I was just at a big event. Ashley and Bob were there, the Cherryland Community Center. It took us, we started working on that in 2006, and finally, with the partnership of Hart, we opened it up today. It was a $22 million project. There were a lot of challenges along the way, one of which was when our former governor, Jerry Brown, dissolved redevelopment, and we didn't have any more money for it. We had to come up with the money for that $22 million project. So to be over there, it was just really, really very heart-wrenching to see that facility finally opened and the community having so much joy and pride in that facility in terms of what it's going to do. And then I'm going to feel the same way about this station when we break ground and when we have the grand opening ceremony. This will be,
when it will.
the chief will probably tell you that when we break ground. This station will be the second station the county's built in the last, I'd say, within the last 10 years. Because we did a new station for $9 million, station 23 3, I believe, in Cherryland a number of years ago. That was $9 million. And that was the first station the county built in more than 40 years. So now we're going to build this station, but we could only do that if Measure X had, if it hadn't passed, we wouldn't have had the money. So I'm just so thankful for all of you and the voters in Alameda County for approving that measure. I'll be working with the Chief and General Services as we continue to move forward with this particular project to get this fire station constructed and opened up to serve the community. And then the Chief can also talk maybe about what will happen with the other property over there as well. But it's just great seeing all of you. When I was driving up here, I got a little teary-eyed because I haven't been up here in Palomares. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. So it's just good to be back. So thank you all.
Well, I actually would love to. I'll tell you as much about the schedule now, and I also will be inviting you into the community center for a little presentation. But it's our expectation to have a project manager hired by the end of this year to get us going on organizing the projects to build all of our fire stations. That's the first step. We will then hire an architect who will work with us to design and program the station, and that's where we would ask all of you to be involved in and included in designing the station so that it fits into the community and it represents Palomares Hills very well. So we're looking to do that and have this station open by October of 2024.
3 years on the way. 3 years over.
So I'd like to invite you all into the community center. We have a brief presentation to provide to you.
Yeah.
Right. And thank you all for being here this morning.
Close. We are living very close.
Are there snacks?
So the fire safety bond, Measure X, was placed on the ballot at the direction of the Board of Supervisors back in November of 2020. And it authorized the Alameda County Fire District to issue $90 million worth of bonds in order to construct 6 fire stations. Actually, there's 7 fire stations that are in the unincorporated areas of Alameda County that we want to be able to finance and fund those projects. And so Measure X, thank you all very, very, very much for your support. That is incredible support for the organization, and we really appreciate that level of support. So $90 million for the 7 fire stations that will be constructed over the next several years. Those stations are primarily here in Castro Valley. We have one in San Lorenzo. We also have one in south of Livermore, or East Livermore, and then the other incorporated area. Oh, here? Here they are.
Right here?
Okay, yes.
All right.
So let's play the video. Is it actually moving?
Some technical difficulties. Huh. All right. I promised this all worked a few minutes ago. I did, yeah. So I was holding this.
I'll just move on and talk about it. Okay. So one of the other things that we asked the board to do was to allow us to prioritize the fire stations in the order that we would actually work on those projects. And we based that on a couple of things. The condition of the buildings that we were replacing, the available parcels that we had available for us to be able to construct these stations, how quickly we could actually begin the construction and whether or not we needed to do some phasing at the site, temporary relocation, move the operation off of the site, and tear it down, things like that. So based on those criteria, we proposed to the Board of Supervisors that we start the number one priority would be Fire Station 7 out here on the street. And the primary reason for that is we were able to move forward quickly. We have a site available, we can keep the operation intact here. The crew and the operation intact here at the station will all be built in a new station, and so it afforded for us to be able to really move quickly and get some work done. You gonna try again?
We can.
Oh, yay! I'm guessing that you could tell by the pictures that you saw there of the fire stations, of the age and the condition of some of the stations. Two of our stations are over 70 years old. And what's important for me to share with you is that in many cases, the stations don't have all of the components built into them that they need to have to be able to support our operation and provide service in the community. So we are going to be building larger stations, probably be about 8,000 square foot this station here. And it will incorporate and include all of the components and the programming needs that we would be able to provide faster 911 emergency response service, faster medical service, earlier detection of wildfires in the area, and better communications that we would be able to have, and also our ability to really incorporate ourselves into the neighborhoods that we serve. And so that's really the main thing that I wanted to talk to you all about today, and that is the design of the station. Where we are right now, as I mentioned, the Board of Supervisors authorized us to hire our own project manager and our own architect, our own project team, if you will. And we are currently out searching for a project management firm. We have sent out a request for proposals from 5 companies that have been pre-approved to provide services to the county. And we expect to be able to secure a project manager by the end of this calendar year. What that will do is that will give us the ability to immediately hire an architect, and we'll go out on a RFP or a request for proposal for an architectural firm. And what we're hoping to find is a firm that has a lot of fire station design
experience that will be able to assist us in doing programming and design guidelines for all of our stations, but in particular this station here in Palomares Hills. What we would ask from you is your assistance and your input in developing the design of the station. We want to give you an opportunity to ensure that we design something and build a station, construct a station that fits in with the Palomares Hill community, and that it's something that the community can be proud of. And so, yes, sir.
So when you want the community assistance and input, what are going to be the formal channels that the community communicates with? How is it going to play out?
We would like to host meetings where we would invite the community, the residents, and we'll work through Mr. Smith to organize the opportunities for the community to come and visit with us and talk with us about what we'd like to see in that design, what we'd like to see in terms of the look, the style, and the elevations of the station that's going to be built here. And we'll probably have a couple of opportunities to be able to do that, get input, and kind of give you some guidance on what things could look like, what the design guidelines are here in the community, and then come back after we put some design on that. Yes, sir.
We came in a little late. Could you reiterate, maybe you answered my question already, but that land there, that vacant lot, that will be solely for the fire station?
Yes. Yes, that will be solely for the new fire station that is up on that property.
What about where the fire station is now?
We don't have a determination on what will happen to that fire station. We'll probably hang on to it for some time, and at some point in the future make some recommendations on what would happen with that station, whether or not we maintain it as a part of our operation or we provide an opportunity for that to be a surplus to the community.
Surplus to the community, what would that mean?
Sold? Sold?
Sold.
Yeah.
We can have a housing fight, yes.
Yeah, we don't want to get the concern again about housing being built in one of the locations here. So we're not proposing anything like that, and at this point, we actually are at a point where we're looking at building a station and making that design, and at some point in the future, make a recommendation about what we should do with the existing facility. Yes, sir.
Any consideration for having sheriffs, deputies have a place to have a substation here versus, I think, I'm not sure where they come from. It looks like they have to travel from 150th.
The township station.
A place to rest or...
There is a very good benefit from that sort of relationship in working closely together with our law enforcement partners, and I think that would be a really good consideration for the use of that station in the future. Yes, sir.
As part of the RFP sent out for your project managers, do you know if you're working to have the new building LEED certified? And for the audience, LEED is Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, where it's certified as a green building. And depending on your answer, there's a reason I'm asking.
Okay. The answer is it will be built to at least the LEED Silver standard and compliant.
Okay, and as part of the LEED process, in the initial stages, I know they have to do a site assessment survey that's uploaded to the Green Building Council as part of that process. Two parts of that initial assessment interest me, and I would really like the community to not really have input, but at least be able to see what you get back on those two parts. And the first one is a slope stability risk index or assessment. And that interests me because of the canyon behind both properties here. And we have a pool right here at about the same location as the new station will be. So that interests me for the association. And number two, the second part is a threatened and endangered species and unique habitat assessment. Right now we're having a wildfire study done by a consultant that we're going to provide to the community. And part of that assessment is not all about wildfire and safety, but it's also about habitat. So to be able to see the habitat survey would really be helpful for us to include as information to the community.
And we would want to receive input from you on that stage, right? So we will schedule and ask for your input and your engagement in the design of the station. It will be built to a LEED Silver standard. Our architect will secure an architect right after the beginning of the calendar year, January or so, and we'll begin to get started on the development of the programming. What kind of programming needs to be in the fire station, contemporary fire station, to make sure that all of the things that we do, all the services that we provide to our communities is built into that station, make sure it supports that. And then we'll start the design guidelines, not only for this station, but for all the stations that we will be building over the next several years. So if we get an architect on board at the beginning of the year, it's anticipated that we'll have that design completed by the end of the calendar year, the end of 2022, and we would be able to then start to put the station out to bid for a contractor to start the construction of the station. And the hope is to be able to have the station constructed no later than October of 2024.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Will the community in here have a way to or voice in selecting architects, and also will the RFP portion of the fire station will include their proposed design, so that we can, if we have a voice to that, we'll be able to see that when they submit the RFP.
The architect will be selected based on requirements and criteria that we publish through the request for proposal process. And so that will be an objective evaluation of submittals that will be provided to us by various architectural firms. And as I say, much of that criteria will be the experience they have in building fire stations across the state, so that we would have the benefit of that knowledge and experience to make sure that we have all things programmed in the design as well. Where the community will have a lot of input is the design and development of the building, and what it looks like, and how it fits into the community. So that's really where we're asking for your input, and we would appreciate your engagement in assisting us with that. Okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just a quick question on the, just off that gentleman's idea. For a sheriff's substation, could you use the present fire station?
I think that's what he suggested.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That is what he suggested. And the decision hasn't been made. In fact, we haven't brought anything in terms of a recommendation forward to the board of supervisors. I think, we'll be out into 2024 when the new station is completed, and when we be able to move the operation over. So, but we'll be looking to provide them with a recommendation of what to do with the existing site. And I think that is a really good option to consider.
Do you ever have residents tempted, if they're having a home invasion and the fire department's 2 minutes away or 1 minute away, instead of calling the sheriff, in addition to calling the sheriff, getting a big truck out in front for other police kind of emergencies?
You have to have that scene secure before they go in. That's not requirement.
Someone has a gun to my head. I might want somebody in a big truck and a bunch of people, I don't think we wear vests and stuff.
No, we don't. We work really closely with our law enforcement partners, and we'll be there to assist. We won't be first in. Okay.
But they do like to use those axes.
Well, that's really all I have to share with you this morning. I want to say thank you very much for the support that the community has given us. Thank you to Supervisor Miley for the leadership on getting us to this point, securing the land as well, placing Measure X on the ballot so that we can be able to have the funding to provide the new fire station generators.
Yeah, and I just want to let folks know that y'all be tracking and monitoring all of this as it unfolds, both this location as well as the other stations that we want to build in our district. So if you don't see me, you'll be seeing the staff engaged in the discussions.
And make sure they don't overspend.
No, I'm a big,
firehouse here, as well as Cal Fire and others. After we did our wildfire preparation this year, we had the local fire department, we had Cal Fire out. Gave us a lot of really good input into what we were doing here for wildfire safety. And as far as projects back here at the pool, when we did our main pool renovation, as well as the structure that's going out back by the kiddie pool now, the shade structure, Chief McDonald worked with us to be able to get the contractors to go on their property, lift things over the wall, so it saved the chance of any damage to our new pool area. So thanks to the fire department.
And I'd like to introduce the Station 7 crew. This is Captain Larson, and the crew is Engine 7 and Willie. Very dedicated to the community, love serving here, and really love being a part of the community as well. So thank you all for being here today. Yes?
I know that fire stations are available for drop-off of newborns.
Oh,
Surrender.
safe
Yes,
places?
safe surrender.
Safe, mhm.
Yeah, people surrender their teenagers.